Hey everyone, welcome to the second Kickstarted video. Just realize you are seeing me to infinity and beyond. Let's fix that. Oh, great. Not the right tab still. Hey, finally there. Okay, now that I've had my troubles, hopefully the rest of this will go a whole lot better. I am Petter. I run the Malts and Meeples channel here on Twitch and on YouTube. I hope that you like the content that we put out. Yesterday I did an unboxing of Zombicide Green Horde. So that was a fun game that I won for free. Still sitting over here. Hope to play it on the stream coming up here. So much reflection off my glasses. Sorry about that. But so if you're not familiar or you haven't watched, I guess there's only been one other month of Kickstarted to actually watch. What I do on Kickstarted is I go through my Kickstarter and look at all the projects that I've saved. These are not necessarily ones that I have backed, though some of them will be. And I will kind of talk about what interested me in them, and then possibly just be like, I have no clue. That happened last time. But let's take a quick look here at the drink. So barrel aged should be fun. Smooth notes of toffee, vanilla, and caramel. Bourbon barrel ale, Oakspire from New Belgium. Normally not a huge New Belgium fan, but I am a huge barrel-aged fan. That's the main reason I have this. You can definitely taste the barrel-aged piece of it, but it's, yeah, I would almost say it's a little bit lacking. It doesn't have the depth to the flavor. I'm not really getting their full description of vanilla, toffee. Yeah, no, it's not bad. Definitely, I like it, but it's a little bit lacking for what a barrel-aged beer should be. But as you can see, we have a few Kickstarters, including one that ends in 37 hours. So if you watch this more than 37 hours after I have put this up, you've missed this one. In all fairness, most people are gonna have missed this one because it doesn't look like it's going to fund. Wanted 28,000, is sitting at 16,000, 12,000 is way too large an amount for it to make up, especially since it is 12,000 wouldn't be too bad, I would say, if their goal was 100,000. Now, something like this would never hit a goal of 100,000 because it is a roll and write. But yeah, it's kind of a shame because this one looked a little bit interesting. So, I mean, roll and writes are very in vogue right now. I enjoy them. Welcome to Crisscross, Second Chance, Cat Cafe, like all of those games. And this one looks like it did some interesting things out there. 1 to 6 players, 15 minutes a player, not bad. The interesting thing is you have these pencils of different colors. So as you go, you are filling in different areas. I think trying to get next to landmarks, bridges. They're kind of demonstrating. So this outer box here is the size of their pad. So it's a larger pad of paper than others. Don't know why they're really showing it off. Box, same thing, larger box than some others. Don't know why they're really showing that off. I don't think that's really a selling point for a game like this. And they spent a lot of, I mean, that's a decent amount to scroll past that. How to play. You roll a 6 dice, you draft them, and then you fill in these streets. You're trying to visit landmarks, You're trying to cross over bridges, hence the name Seven Bridges of Königsberg. So I like it in theory. I like the concept of it, and I like what looks like a couple different colors on here. I like the fact it's a map layout. I think kind of tracing a route on a map actually makes a lot of sense for a Kickstarter. Just nothing all that unique and special about it, I would say. Yeah, solo mode, it's always good. Definitely one of those things that you want to have in a game like this. It's very, that's another thing that is in vogue right now is solo modes, and for a roll and write it works pretty well, I think, most of the time to have a solo mode with it. I've played Crisscross and Welcome to solo on the YouTube channel for Molds and Meeples, and that was a lot of fun. And even though Crisscross isn't one that is truly a solo game, it gives you a chance, or you can basically play to see what your best score is. And that's a fun thing to do. It works well, they play so fast. So a roll and write makes a lot of sense to have that. And then same image as the other time. I mean, overall, I think this looks like a pretty decent game. Nice insert idea. Clearly have gotten some previews for it. And I'm a little bit surprised that it's not doing better than it is. But I also think that for a roll and write, it's a little big. And their target's a little high. I think they probably could hit 28,000 if they put their target at 20,000 and had a few stretch goals that people could get to. A ton of reviews. Kickstarter exclusive. Board Game Geek micro badge is not a big thing. Stretch goals. Cardboard pencil holder. Slightly better paper. Wooden pencil holder. So this is something that I will get on them for a little bit. So you're upgrading from a plastic pouch to cardboard. That's cool. That's fine. I like that idea. But then an extra 7,000 more, it's going to be wood. So that means that cardboard one isn't a reward. It isn't a stretch goal anymore. It's something that's been removed from your campaign. Same with this paper. It's upgrading the same component, same thing. It'd be better to have fewer stretch goals and just put it to your end goal there. People are going to, like, I noticed it, I'm sure a lot of other people did too. And also, like a wooden pencil holder, cool, but not super practical. And again, this is already a big box thing. You don't want it to become too heavy either. And shipping, not bad in terms of prices, but probably should be cheaper with smaller components. I don't want to bash this too much because I think it's a cool concept. I think it's a cool idea. I like the idea of kind of tracing out your routes on a map and trying to work together or work separately to get to different places before other people do. And I love the idea of dice drafting. I think that works really well for a roll and write, but probably needs to be canceled at this point. 37 hours left. You're not going to fund. Cancel it. And then figure out a way to bring your cost down a little bit. Make it a little bit smaller, tighter package. Put it back out with a slightly lower goal, and I think you'll be able to do it. And I'd probably check it out again then. So that's the first one. Only one ending soon. Let's open up these next 3. Oh, that one's canceled. So we'll skip it. Let's open it up. Let's open it up because it's cute and funny, right? That's what I remember from it. So this is not actually a board game, RPG. Fairly often I'll do RPGs on this, and let me just double check to make sure everything says I'm good on my phone. Malts and Meeples is live. Huzzah. So this one clearly has crushed its goal. This is... It's a little bit funny, actually, for this one, because that's 44 times, 44.5 times, 400. Yeah, 400 and... no, 44. Yeah, whatever it is. It's blasted through the total. And some of it might be they didn't know how well they were going to do. But sometimes you look at it and they're like 600% funded or 6,000% funded, and you're like, why didn't you set your funding a little bit higher? Like, set it a little bit higher, just take some of the stretch goals and make them normal. And yeah, it's just a little bit humorous to see. So the main reason I have this one on here is because I enjoyed Root quite well. And the idea of a role-playing in the Root world, yeah, I didn't back this one. You'll be able to see which ones I have backed with the Back This Project there. But I feel like it's going to be an interesting idea for a game. I'm not sure that it has the breadth that I would want for an RPG. However, I think that there are going to be plenty of people who like this, and it has a built-in audience, clearly. And I mean, RPGs have a fairly large built-in audience right now, and Root has a good built-in audience, so kind of getting both of those in one, definitely cool. I am curious right now. It's been a while since I scrolled through this one. Good. Oh. You can get the digital or print expansion deluxe. Okay, that deluxe looks really nice, actually. I love the look of that book. Extra things, dice. What I wanted to see was, yeah, they've destroyed every stretch goal. Let's get past that. Optional buys, blah blah blah, shipping, actual plays. I don't think they have what I want on here. Sorry for scrolling a little fast. Yeah, what I was looking for was a character sheet. I just wanted to know what that looked like. It's a key part of every role-playing game. Even the role-playing games that don't give you a heavy character sheet do give you at least a little bit of something, and this feels like one that is going to have a character sheet. Like, we got the idea of the cunning and everything there. But then let's go to Sovereign Skies. 45-minute sci-fi worker movement strategy game for 1 to 4 players. I like the artwork. That's cool looking. Will be at least 3 times what I was hoping for. Cheap. $30 is fairly rare for a Kickstarter. Fun graphic. I like the board idea. I'm assuming that... Okay, let's get away from that. Big strategic depth, small blocks. Worker movement action selection rondelle. Rondelle basically means that you're going through different actions in a circular pattern. So you would go to one, then the next, and the next, and kind of go around the whole clock. Most of the time, then you have the option, you can choose either to go like 1 or 2, or maybe pay to go further down, so you can get to the action that you really want, but it might cost. 45 minutes for 4 players, beautiful graphic design, I can agree with that. Custom meeples. Sorry, I don't know why I'm so tired. Political cards, senator cards. This doesn't necessarily seem like my jam, but it looks like the aesthetic is amazing on this game. It's on point for a space game. It just looks really nice. And so you move around the rondel. You could, and oh, interesting. And so you move around the rondel. Moving to the next one's free. Takes energy to get further. And you can just pay 2 energy to start going the other way on the rondel. So that's cool. I like that idea. Different actions. Iconography. Take cards, add shifts. Relocate, refuel, pledge, construct, activate, recruit. It seems like one of those games that you'll get a few cards and that will kind of help you determine what to do. But yeah, they have their graphic design and aesthetic on point. This is definitely the type of game for a lot of people out there. Just not my cup of tea. That decent sized box, not huge, not small. Don't know why those didn't load in better. CEO of Deepwater Games. Deepwater Games, Deepwater Game. Oh, I forget what they've done. Deepwater Games. Oh yeah, Floor Plan is the one that they have coming out eventually. Super excited for that one. But their big one is Welcome To. Should remember that. Really like Welcome To. Okay, this one was canceled. You can see why it was canceled. Didn't hit the goal. Wasn't getting close to the goal. But seems kind of entertaining. Real laser chopsticks. Why would you have laser chopsticks in there? Just go regular chopsticks. You probably could have done it way cheaper than that. Not particularly cheap, probably because of the chopsticks. So you're doing that, flip over one, and stack it. Throw a dice. Do better. I mean, this seems a little weird. This would be a cool game. Just manipulating and stacking the dice, sushi dice, with chopsticks. That's all this game needs to be. You don't need to be able to throw stuff at somebody else's thing with chopsticks. You don't need to have this laser battle, whatever the heck that is. Just make it simple. That's all this game needs to be. You could have 4 players, normal chopsticks, stack your sushi, call it good and go. If they do that, if they come back with that, I'll probably get this game. It's going to be $25 at that point. And it's a silly fun game, which is what this looks like, and then you're adding a take that kind of element to it. No, just make it a pure dexterity game. That'd be way cooler, in my humble opinion. Blood of the Northmen. Assemble your warband at fledgling towns and form a nation under your rule. Smash enemies and become the greatest Jarl. Hey, they've doubled on their goal. I like the hex setup. I like the little town minis. I like the large chunk of text. That highlights what I need to know. Yeah, 120 tiles, 48 figures, 12 strongholds. Fairly cool. I like the player board idea for each character. I like the looks of those 3D renders for the sculpts. Warbands are cool, strongholds are cool, special abilities, how to play. Hey, it's actually fairly high on the page. If you watch the Brothers Murph Kickstarter videos, you'll know what they kind of think about the how to play being too low on the page. Not fans. Flip tile, play tile, recruit, move. Move on a road, fight. And more. Not bad in terms of price. Saying the MSRP is 80 bucks. Getting it for 55, not bad. Stretch goals. Additional characters, cool. It's kind of what you would expect. Few abilities. Stuff like that. Solo mode. Still locked. They will definitely get that one. Beyond that, I'm sure they'll get a few more as well. But yeah, putting solo mode on there at that point in time was a good way to get that last little bump up that they might want. The Quest Kids. So this one I put on here just because it looks like a fun kids game. It looks like a kid's first dungeon crawler. Going around different places. I'm assuming you're trying to get gems. 2 to 4 kids, 5 and up. Play 1, find treasures, scare away monsters, complete quests, and discover magical items. Kid friendly, big old figures. Kid art is good. Yeah, a lot of fun. Cute look to it. Yeah, those are cute figures that they work well. Coloring scoring sheet add-on. That's a little bit hilarious. Hey, you can also color this. Skylar, Noah, Ivy, and Crash. Normal name, normal name, normal name, Crash. He's a wizard, makes sense. But yeah, that looks fun, and even with the standees, it looks good. Stretch goals, I'm sure they've unlocked several. Oh, and I like this too, where they have a stretch goal, and then they have you vote on which one you want. Stone golems or dragons. I mean, dragons is obviously going to win that one, so I prefer to see stone golems. Spiders versus trolls. Yeah, cute game. Assuming plays pretty simply, flipping cards, chase away people. But I like it. Yeah, that one looks cool. That one, I'd be much more tempted to back if my son wasn't almost 1. If he was like almost 8, this would probably be one that I would have backed. Good intro to dungeon crawling, and a lot of cool little figures. The Ghost Betwixt. Cooperative dungeon crawl set in the 1990s haunted heartland. The 90s. I could do without visiting them again. Cooperative and solo play. Most of the time, cooperative play means solo play. It's good to put that in there. It's going to help boost it up for them. But yeah, most of the time, one means the other. Artwork, pretty good. Good diversity of people. It's fun to see that in games. So many games are just standard fantasy, and you get standard fantasy characters, and standard fantasy is all based off of J.R. Tolkien, which is great. I love his. I love The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Silmarillion, read it. Probably was worth reading, but will never feel the need to go back. And so it's fun to see some board game kind of go out a little bit different than that. Mission guide, 10 missions, cool. It's nice, hopefully they're fairly replayable. 17 double-sided tiles, ton of equipment cards. I get the aesthetic they're going for here. 21 custom dice, cool. Bajillion tokens. Are we sure we needed this many tokens? That's like epic dungeon crawl amount of tokens. That's more... That's Gloomhaven amount of tokens. Gloomhaven probably has more, counting the monster tokens. But in terms of what you use, that's a lot. Yeah, the art style I like. I don't know that I want to game with that style. I get the style they're going for, but yeah. So you can construct a map, draw tokens, decision-based combat. Okay. So basically it just seems like it's offering you a bunch of choices, that it's fairly standard for a dungeon crawl, unless it's a pure hack and slash. Intuitive monster AI. Spawn revealing map tiles. Tiered and unlockable loot. Yeah. Yeah, this is not a game that I back, not a game that I'm going to back. If I find it at a con, if I find it somewhere that I can take a look at it in person, it would definitely be one I'd check out though. It looks like a fun game. It looks like a cool little dungeon crawl, and yeah, good little monsters, horror theme on it. Perfect for Halloween. So 7 days. I don't think I'll make it in time for this Halloween, but maybe next year's. And they're 109%, so that's nice. Alright. Wicked Foundation, Tales of Terror. This one? I think I showed it off last time. Creepy figures. Mr. Fuzzy Bottom. Well, that's disturbing in the best way possible. So, this is just a reminder. This one is out here. Happy Halloween. We'll skip on from that because I've talked a bit about the other ones, and yeah, I'm chatting a bit. So this one is one that looks pretty cool. So it has a Five Tribes Mancala style moving marbles around and then picking marbles out. Yeah, this will definitely hit its goal. It's about making cocktails, which is pretty cool. And like the aesthetic for it, print and play. Doesn't make sense. 45 bucks for the game. I'm assuming it comes, and we'll probably see a larger amount of information down further, with a good number of marbles, things like that, that are going to make that price make sense. Good board. I like the little kind of notebook looking rule book there. Different cocktails. So overview. Players assume the role of tonight's mixologists, completing drink orders. So you have your drinks, you're rolling dice. I don't know where dice would come in with that. See if it tells us a little bit more. Saved ingredients, cool. Okay, that's fairly fun. Lemon round markers. Old fashioned, hurricane, martini, and highball. So the different glass types. Orders, tips. So I'm assuming each player has their own player board with their own drink classes on it. Make a lot of sense. Roll dice. What to draft ingredients from bag, collect amount on dice. So you're basically just getting a random. That seems a little random and a little weird to me. Probably works well, probably doesn't work as well if you're picking a set amount. The variability probably helps. And since you're only drafting one bowl at a time with the marbles in it, that works. You select and place. You can place some to save them. Cool. Return empty bowl, plus. So you're basically always going around and making drinks, drafting things. 5 jigger bowls. Player boards. Okay, that's cool. So they fold up to look like they're for the check. That's sweet. Yeah. They have designed this really well. And I like the idea of marble drafting. I think that's cool. So let's see. Path of the Adventurers. Okay, its goal. Not a huge number of backers. 12 days to go. Cool minis. 1 to 4, 60 to 90. Co-op. Resin minis. That's cool. Explore the kingdom. Encounter enemies. Customize your adventurer. I don't feel like this really tells you that much about how you've customized your adventurer, but it looks like you get tokens for different die rolls. buying equipment. So you have your adventurers, cards, so the different locations, enemies, special skill cards, equipment, legendary, encounter, events, dice, tokens, 120 tokens, initiative, rulebook, miniature set. Pretty cool. How to play. I'll let you watch that for yourself. So again, that's a Brother Smurf pet peeve when the how to play is in a video. Woohoo! Not extremely expensive, not extremely cheap, just kind of, I'd say, average. Custom friendly with local shipping. We will charge shipping after the end of the Kickstarter campaign during the Pledge Manager. Everyone does that. What they don't have here is estimates. Get your estimates in order, people. Or look at the size of what you think your game's going to be. Look at the shipping from other game companies. Add $3 and put that down. Like, have something here for that. Track courier shipping, handled and pledge separation, and safe packaging. Oh, there we are. Should have scrolled further. Most of the time that's an image. I'm going to blame that for my confusion. Yeah. Pretty cool. September 2020, not bad. So probably a little bit later. I'm not sure if they've sent any more. So I have more this time to go through than I did last time. I don't know how long this has taken thus far, but we're going to continue to blast through this as fast as we can. A new game of twisting tiles, where the legend of the Minotaur comes alive for 2 to 4 players. The twisting of the tiles, as shown here in this image, is the part that got me interested. Basically, you're manipulating a maze, I'm assuming, to discover tiles, move stuff around. That's pretty cool. Rotate wall, and okay, these 5 standees. I really like them. Those are beautiful looking. It's very, I don't know the term for it, but I really like the way that those look, and it's just, that is not a style you see in games. It's like ancient artwork and looks really nice. Key tokens, so I'm assuming these are things you can do to upgrade. Desperation cards, that's always a good sound thing. How to play. Video. So you kind of start with a setup. You explore, moving, find keys, control the Minotaur, so I'm assuming you can send the Minotaur to track down other people, and you're trying to escape. I mean, it's what you would expect from a game about a labyrinth and a Minotaur, but that is cool. Definitely interesting. Missed out on the early bird, but the regular one at $40 seems right for a game that size. 109. game mat is cool. I wish, since the base one does not have a board, I wish the base one had a board. If it was me, that would be one of those things I would want to make it easier to lay out, and then have the mat as like an add-on, even if it adds a little bit to the price. Having a board there would be nice. The rolling tray looks ridiculous to me, but the rest of the game looks cool, so that is fun. Ann Arbor, Michigan. Some mystery goals. Cool. That's a pretty cool setup. Yeah, this is definitely a game that looks cool. It's one that I hope does well, so I can make it to retail. I feel like it's a sort of game where, as long as they don't make it too complicated, it's probably one that would have a more of a mass market appeal, because people know what a labyrinth is. People can look at that and go like, oh, I know that I'm trying to find my way out of a maze. So it's a easy concept to pitch. Epic fantasy player-driven board game where you control your own fate. So, open world? Or sandbox? Where are you going with there? Solo, co-op, and free-for-all. So, I'm assuming or hoping that the free-for-all is basically just bite. Make it simple, instead of trying to be a whole nother game mode. For it, adventure mat. It looks decent. It doesn't look modern. I'll put it that way. I feel like it looks like it's dated already. Tons of cards, hero mats, auction mats, Master of Dreams mat, effect tokens, metallic coins. Those look cool. I mean, overall, it looks pretty good. I feel like my face is right now, it's slightly overexposed. Sorry, I gotta sneeze. And so we're getting a little bit of reflection off of it. We definitely are. But overall, components look pretty good. Dice Tower preview still coming. May death tremble at my feet. It seems to be doing quite well for itself. Seems like a lot of information. Core box. Assuming core box comes with standees. Something like that. There's so much information on here. Monsters, Adventure Mat, Master of Dreams, Rulebook, add-ons. Let me catch my breath. So much scrolling. Shipping. Did I miss a how to play section? It looks like a big epic game. It doesn't stand out from a lot of the others. Could be a great game. Just looks like one that I'm going to pass on. Also, this is really weird. The amount of updates is 0. Let's see, I forgot how well it's doing. Whee! I mean, it's close to making it. It would probably make it, and they don't have any updates yet. That's unless they're completely hidden. which I thought you could still see that there were updates for backers, but it's good to have visible updates if you've been going for a little bit. Corrupted Collection RPG thing that is blowing up. And I mean, there's a good reason it's blowing up. This looks cool. So basically it's a spot to store dice and figures in a nice box, smoke not included, or probably smoke machine or dry ice not included. But look at that artwork there. That is just, it's Halloween. I mean, that's the reason I put that on here. I saw it and was like, ooh, Halloween. And that just looks cool. They're not cheap. They should not be cheap. So that's very cool. And I really liked these, the coffin ones. Great way to store dice. Very cool looking pledge calculator. So you can figure out what you want, type it in, and it'll get all the information. So I'm assuming, because like you have the different liners, sticker pack. Very cool. Very, very cool looking. And, I mean, really, all things considered, I mean, these are good prices for these things. These are beautiful looking, look like they're extremely well done, and yeah. If I had the money to spend for that, for D&D, and I was playing it more often, I'd really consider it. Scroll down a little further. Load more, please. Tiny epic dinosaurs. Doo-da, doo-da. What? Stop, you dinosaur. Load more. Wait. Where the heck am I? Load more. Load more again, please. Oathsworn and Scott Pilgrim Miniatures, the world. Tiny Epic Dinosaurs, worker placement dino game. On the go. I've never played a Tiny Epic game. They seem like they're fun. None of them have interested me that much. Tiny Epic Mechs looks cool. But yeah, this Tiny Epic Dinosaurs looks cool simply for this. Over 70 dino meeples. That is just great. I'm assuming you're building your own park. And who knows if, oh sorry, I'm slightly stuffed up today. Maybe you just have the dinosaurs go and murder other people. You have no idea what's going on. You arrange your ranch. I'm assuming you're setting it up in certain ways to keep dinosaurs separated. Assign your ranchers to different activities. Ooh. Escaping dinosaurs. Carnivores may eat the herbivores. Cheap, gets you tons of things. Very cool looking. Not going to be a game that I back, though I do like the idea of dinosaurs. Just, I don't know that I have the spot for this in my collection. Seems like a lot of fun though, and I know there are a ton of people who love these Tiny Epic games. So if this one looks good to you, based off of dinosaurs and stuff like that, definitely check it out. I highly doubt you'll be disappointed by it. Oathsworn is actually one that I have backed. So Oathsworn is also not a cheap game to back. I actually got the standees, not the miniatures, with what I've backed. I'm still debating if I'm going to keep it or not. it's definitely a very interesting look to me. So you have a city map where you're going around to different locations, dealing with different things. It's a big story, epic fantasy game. And I was just complaining a little bit about fantasy games and how they're a little bit standard. This one has some of that in there, I won't lie. But a good epic fantasy story is still, I love them. So with this, there's just a lot you can do, and like the miniatures look amazing. It's just too much of a bump. 45 plus hours, 15 chapters, replayable and with additional game modes, quick save. So it's really trying to be that epic story game without having to be that here's 35 tokens and rolling a ton of dice. I mean, it has all of that in it. I've seen some playthroughs. The playthroughs are worth checking out, by the way. The rolling solo playthrough has been good. The Dice Tower playthrough was good as well. 20 mystery envelopes, 20 plus mystery envelopes. So as you're going through this story, you don't even know what happens. And the best part, and this is why I'd highly recommend the rolling solo playthrough for it, is he uses the audio from the app, and it is amazing. And it also helps, like, you have the storybook of 200 plus pages, but with that app, it saves you some time of having to find where you have to be at, read the passage, present the options. Somebody selects an option, you then have to find that next passage to read. The app does all of that, and for these branching story games where you can have a whole lot of different things happen, definitely feels like you need to, like, apps seem like they're the way to go. Sorry, gotta sneeze again. Excuse me. And then this one has minis, but you're playing basically as, I want to say almost like badass mercenaries is what the Free Company sounds like to me. You have your abilities and your different characters, and this is where it goes beyond a little bit more than your standard fantasy, as I'm getting ready to sneeze yet again, maybe, because you can play as a bear. You have a bear, a witch, fairly different, priest, ranger, exile. Many mysteries to unlock. Where are the minis? They don't show you the minis for the monsters. Why? Because you don't know what you're going to be going up against, and that's cool. So you have like your battle mat, counter cards, and so then I want to point out something here. We have our dice. These orange, red, white, and black ones with the numbers. Those you can use for attacks. But you can also use these cards. They match up to the dice, and more importantly, you don't reshuffle them automatically until you run out of them. So in the Dice Tower playthrough, the guy who was running it for them, one of the creators of the game, or owners of the company, I'm not sure, I wasn't paying attention during introductions. Let's be fair, that's what was going on. He put it this way: the deck of cards remembers what you have done. The dice do not. Basically what that means is that you could flip cards, and if you have a really bad flip, you know that your next flip of however many cards is probably going to be better. So the dice remember that what you've done. You're not going to randomly roll the blank side 10 times in a row like you might if you were just using the dice. But you have like this Animus is an energy pool. You have 300 plus tokens. I was talking about epic dungeon crawl tokens. This is epic dungeon crawl tokens. Find yourself a storage solution if you get this game. I personally bought 500 tiny Ziploc bags. Not for this game, for others, works well. Also like a tackle box or a cross stitch box. They work well. You have 4 large secret maps. So this Bastogne is the first location that you go to. You have a large map. Sorry, my phone buzzed. Make sure that I don't have anything weird going on. Nothing weird is going on. There was an Oathsworn update. Hey, see how they have 11 updates? A whole lot better than that 0. So much going on, and yeah, that app honestly is the big selling point for it right now. Train pack, cool. That thing is going. So this train box, if you have the extra money for it, let me put it this way: if you have the extra money for it, and you pick it up, and decide you don't want to use it, you can probably sell it for double. People don't buy the train pack. There'll be plenty of people who then decide that they would have wanted to have gotten it, or have sold their copy of the game to somebody else who missed out on the Kickstarter but would have wanted to get that train pack. Train packs, it's like those weird extra things that not everybody else got. So, I mean, don't quote me on that, but I suspect you'd be able to sell it for more. Oh, that's cool. Secret box. Included for free with every all-in pledge. I haven't do the all-in pledge. But it's a secret box. I want it. It's, yeah, that just has me feeling like Magic the Gathering packs, where it's just like, oh, I want to open it, see what's in there, see if it's something cool. Metal coins, I always love them. Armory. What? Oh yeah, I forgot. That's cool. You can swap weaponry. That's amazing. Stretch goals. Plenty of them. New characters. I mean, you're not going to run out of content with this game for a long time, even with the base pledge. Definitely a cool one. I'm excited for it. Like I said, I'm having trouble being like, I need to get this game, but looking at it again, yeah, I'm probably going to keep my pledge. This one I put on here. Scott Pilgrim Miniatures the World. So you must fight with adorable minis. That is so Scott Pilgrim, and it looks so cool. 10 3D throwable objects is ridiculous. Dice, I mean, there are just so many cool little things in here. The minis, the expansions, and more expansions, and more expansions with more adorable minis, and more adorable minis, and more adorable minis. So many adorable minis. This is not a game I'm going to back. I put it on here because it's Scott Pilgrim. I like Scott Pilgrim the movie. I like Scott Pilgrim the comic books. I don't need a Scott Pilgrim fighting miniatures game with pop-up stages. Still, it looks like a lot of... It just looks cute. It has an amazing table presence. So, shipping, not cheap, but this is not a small game. So, that seems reasonable to me. Let's see what we have next. Let's be getting close to the bottom here. So this is another one I've backed. The main reason I backed this one is I played it at Gen Con. Now, I didn't play this expansion for it, the Grimm Dynasty, which gives you a cool Chinese-themed expansion, but I played a scenario for the base game. It's nearly impossible to find the base game. Like, the person running the event at Gen Con said he thought Miniature Market had one in stock. That was it. So I just want to get the base game because this is a really fun game. Had a blast with it at Gen Con, being taught and playing. It's literally, you play as the monsters defending yourself against the villagers who are coming to attack. So much fun, so cool. It's, yeah, a blast. Tons of little plastic figures. Not bad price, 96 bucks. More expensive, I think, if you were to get it retail. But really good, really fun. Very cool villains you play. Cool dice you use. Fun upgrades you get. All in all, it works really well. These do not come painted, which is a shame. I wish they did, because those look amazing. And then if you just want to get everything that came in the original one, there's everything that came in the original one. Nope, not for me. But yeah, this is a really fun game, cooperative game, solo game. And yeah, I would highly recommend it. It's scenario based. There are a lot of scenarios out there for it, it seems like. And even if you've already played a scenario, you can play it again. This one I am not going to back. But I pulled it up because I have Green Horde now. And so, zombies with role-playing. Zombie Chronicles role-playing game. So I'm assuming it's a separate thing that you can add. But you can see a different board setup. Kind of, I like the art style. It's very cute. In some ways, very comic booky in a good way, because it's zombies. It could be really grotesque. Cute seems a whole lot better way to go. And then you have pretty grotesque anyways. But at least your characters are cute. So I'm assuming it's similar. You play campaigns, I guess, or story, objective-driven, advanced rules. So many things. Washington, Z.C. So I'm assuming you're protecting the president or something like that. And that cool stuff. Like this, it looks fun. Zombicide has always been a game that has looked fun to me. Zombicide Black Plague was definitely the one that interested me the most. But Zombicide 2, that looks cool. You have your 180-page RPG book. And Reboot Pledge, Presidential, Role Player, All Out Pledge, Nostalgic Pledge. So I'm assuming that... Oh, so that is upgrades for the original guys. That's cool. A lot of cool stuff with this one. If you like Zombicide, or if you have thought it was way too much to get into because there's so many expansions and like extra characters, extra zombies, stuff like that. This could be a good jumping in point. Yeah, Simon does great work, and yeah, very cool. Very cool looking. So this one's on the list because it's 2 solo games where you're trying to escape the evil forces hunting you. 666. So, I mean, it just seems like a fun sort of game. Solo games, Mining Colony. Yeah, it's not... Both games, $35 is not bad for a couple solo games. $20 for one of them. It's not bad. Dice roller or dexterity. That makes me slightly less interested. They look like they should be cooler, like more puzzly games than something that's dice rolling or dexterity, but definitely could be interesting. I don't know much about them or how they play. We have a bunch of playthroughs, rule books, rewards, add-ons, shipping. Not bad. Team. Yeah, it's definitely one that looks interesting, and if you're a solo gamer like I am, should be up there. 4 left. I'll just do all of them at once. Every once in a while, such as the Omicron protocol, there are ones that I just am like, I have no clue what you are. Calico! Yay! Cats. And quilts. So you're quilting to collect cats, sew on buttons, and score the most points for getting combos of stuff. It looks simple. I need to sneeze again. It looks cute, and it looks accessible. By that, it means it looks like a game that a lot of people are going to enjoy because it's cute. It's vibrant on the table. We saw it at Gen Con. It definitely looked very cool. Founders. Get a ton of cool stuff. Your Calico Cat in the game! So your cat can be in the game. The Orange Cat in the game, no longer available. Gray Cat in the game, no longer available. White and black and white cat in the game. I had one. It's no longer available. White cat, black cat. So, I mean, it's a great idea. It's cat lovers. There's a nice crossover between cat lovers and quilt lovers and board gamers. There are going to be people that grab those immediately, and that's very cool. Very fun thing to have your own cat in the game. Oh, sorry. Man, don't know what hit me there. Some allergies of some sort. Solo mode, cool. Family mode, simpler mode of it. Does not come with cat. Definitely going to be a fun one. Definitely want to check it out. Sada Gen Con look cool. Omicron Protocol. Intra-apocalyptic squad-based miniatures game. I mean, there's one reason I saved this. Let's see if I can find it. I mean, it has cool minis, it has some fun stuff in it. Squad-based miniatures game. Sounds cool. Not my cup of tea. Or not something I've done a ton of. Up to No Good expansion. This is the one. Okay, the cat's on the signpost, cute. Jugger the elephant. How often in a squad-based miniatures game are you going to have an elephant that looks like it's holding a cane in its trunk? Or a bear with a cybernetic arm? It doesn't treat itself too seriously. That's cool. The look on the table, cool. Stretch goals. Select a faction. Activate to perform attacks. Miniatures games too often look a little bit drab to me, or if, like this one does, but there are plenty of them that don't look drab, but they end up being really expensive because the reason they don't look drab is the terrain is 3D terrain. So, I mean, this one, yeah, I put it on there for elephant minifig. Let's be honest. And I'm sure it's a good game. This is one of those games where if you like miniatures games, tactical, or like dice-based combat, I should say, not tactical-based combat, dice-based combat, it's probably fun. Just not my cup of tea. And let's scroll back up. Whee! I mean, 40 bucks for a standee version or 60 for miniatures? That's not bad. Good price. I mean, it's probably a better price than a lot of miniatures games out there. Pirate fantasy board game where captains explore the seas. Competitive, cooperative, and team play. Okay, first, you probably don't need all of those in the game. But second, it's pirates. I'm always interested in a pirate game. And somebody must be playing it on Tabletop Simulator right now, maybe? On Twitch? Stay on my channel. Stay on my channel. This game interests me mostly because it is pirates. I don't actually love the look of this board. You're going to different islands, stuff like that. You have your captains, your maps. Sinking other ships, events happen, scenarios. It's aesthetically, I don't think it looks amazing. It feels like I said with that other one where it felt dated already, this feels dated already. Might not be mechanic wise, but just looks wise, feels a little bit dated. I hope it's a good game. You can play now, free on Tabletopia. So that's cool. If you want to check it out, that is a great spot to do that. And even if it's like a 2-round limited thing, or a very small little taster, that'd be awesome to see more board games start doing that for Kickstarters. Allow people to play a round or two on a computer. Get the idea if they're really interested in that game. Finally, we have Forgotten Depths, a co-op dungeon adventure game. This, I will say, feels dated, but in a slightly better way in terms of the look. 0 downtime. So that's interesting. Highly replayable. random placement of other stuff. I mean, just because something is placed randomly doesn't mean that it's highly replayable. If how it works, yeah, that to me, the random, that doesn't mean highly replayable. I probably skimmed over more. So you're going to be exploring through 3 ecologies, exploring and encountering. Yeah, this board, like I actually kind of do like this aesthetic for the board, but I don't like it for that meeple. And I don't like it for a dungeon exploration adventure sort of game. If you remember the Labyrinth game, this is actually a pretty good aesthetic for that Labyrinth game, if it didn't already have an amazing aesthetic. So this just feels a little bit boring. It feels a little dull, because this artwork here is cool. I like that artwork a lot. It looks very different from what you normally see. But then that board is just so bland looking. And these combat cards, or whatever they are, seem generic. This seems like it's going to be a fairly generic sort of game in terms of what it does. And I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like a slightly more generic game or a slightly easier game is fine. Ooh. I don't recognize any of those comics that she did the artwork for, but I mean, I do like the artwork. What others are saying. So good that they do have some previews of it. So keep in mind, any of these things are previews or how to plays, really. Anything that they put up on here that is a review, take with a grain of salt. That's what I'll say. If they call it a review, it probably should be more of a preview. Overall, I think this looks like a simple introductory game in terms of kind of exploring, fighting, dungeon crawl sort of event. That's fine. There's definitely need for a lot of games like that, but at the same time, I'm hard pressed to want to add something like that to my collection. Alright, this has been a lot of talking, so I'm going to wrap this up now. Still have a little beer left. It isn't particularly cold, however, barrel-aged beers I've found don't necessarily need to stay extremely cold because they should have a good robust depth to them. Each of this one's missing a little bit, but yeah, overall, I think there's a lot of good Kickstarters out right now. I mean, we had 2 massive ones drop today with Zombicide 2nd edition and then Village Attacks. So, I mean, if you have the money for it and those interest you, there's a lot of cool ones to check out. If you, I guess I should do the last little plug here. So if you are enjoying this content, please consider giving us a follow on Twitch or a subscribe on YouTube. Give it a thumbs up. And thank you for spending a good chunk of time with me. We'll see how long this says I've been going. Hour and 20 minutes. Alright, so I will see you next time, hopefully next week. Bye.